Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Good evening from Miller Park, Milwaukee. The roof is all closed up tonight on a Friday night. We're ready for baseball. It's the Minnesota Twins and the Milwaukee Brewers. And guess who's here? Paul Molitor. A lot of attention on the Igniter here today. His first game as an opposing manager here at Miller Park. Chatting with legend Bob Uecker, Paul Molitor, and Torrey Hunter before the game. And a lot of hoopla, a lot of fanfare for old number 4. Hi, everybody. We welcome you inside Miller Park. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minard, our reporter tonight. And Rock, the headliner tonight has to be Paul Molitor. The Brewers are ready to play this interleague series with the Twins. But Paul Molitor returns for the first time to Miller Park as an opposing manager.
Yeah, he's been here as a coach, but not the same. I mean, he's the guy answering all the questions. The first time he's been back as a manager, and there had to be 50 people around Molitor wondering how he feels and how things are going as a Minnesota Twin manager. But even earlier than that, before everybody got on the field, Molitor went into the Selig experience today alongside Bud Selig himself, and Molitor said it was very emotional for him, but it couldn't have been more intense than when he had that 39-game hitting streak. I was around Molitor during that time. You know, all the emotions are packed high, but Molitor's going to be able to handle it. He's a pro.
He's got his ball club in very good shape right now. The Twins are 6 games over 500. They're in the race. They're 3.5 back to the Royals in the division. They're also well within the wild card race this year. So the Molitors, the Minnesota Twins, have a chance to get to the postseason. And not always do Hall of Fame players turn into good managers. Ryne Sandberg stepped down today with the Phillies, as a matter of fact. Well, it seems like a good fit with the Twins. We'll have more on Paulie when we continue. Sophia had a chance to catch up with Molitor before the game. We'll hear his thoughts about his first game as a manager at Miller Park.
big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota, see where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. It's a border battle between the Minnesota Twins and the Milwaukee Brewers, but more importantly, it is the homecoming of Paul Molitor, the Igniter, back in Milwaukee for the first time as an opposing manager, his first appearance here as the manager of the Twins here at Miller Park. And manager Craig Counsell was among those who grew up worshiping the player Paul Molitor. He had an up-close and personal view of his playing career while his father John was working in the Brewers front office. And for Paul Molitor, no doubt, this is a special weekend, one that carries a lot of fond memories. 15 of his 21 seasons here in Milwaukee, nearly 1,900 games in a Brewers uniform. He shared his memories being back here in Milwaukee.
About a quarter of my life spent here in this community, and if I can do the math. And memories are fond. Friendships, experiences, County Stadium, Mr. Selig. There's just a lot of things about here that are special to me. I mean, obviously it changes over time because you get connected to other things, and me with the Twins now for quite a long time. I'm in a different role here, so we all know what my focus is, obviously, but it's nice. I'll see a lot of friends, a lot of familiar faces, and a lot of fans, so it should be fun.
Paul Molitor back here in Milwaukee for the first time as a manager. The last time these two teams won, the Brewers took 2-3. Kyle Loesch looking to beat the Twins for the first time. We have first pitch coming up next.
The Twins organization as a player, as a coach, and now having an opportunity to manage is pretty special for me.
Two managers tonight managing their hometown teams, the Brewers and the Twins. Game one of this three-game weekend series of the border battle. And Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. And first-year skipper Paul Molitor has his team at 39-33. The Twins coming here after a day off yesterday. Minnesota dropping 2 out of 3 to the Brewers in Minneapolis earlier this year. Here's the Potawatomi batting order for Molitor. Brian Dozier leads off, should be an all-star this year. Torrey Hunter, then Joe Mauer. Middle of the order is Trevor Plouffe, Eddie Rosario, and Kurt Suzuki. Eduardo Nunez gets the call at short again with Shane Robinson and Trevor May rounding it out. And Kyle Lohse on the mound for the Brewers here tonight. And Lohse deals the first pitch. It is fouled away, and Rock, off we go with Lohse making start number 16.
He's lost 5 consecutive decisions. His last win came back on May 15th at New York. It was a good start for Lohse. Not too bad his last time out, although he did lose. At Colorado, 6 innings, only 3 runs.
Lohse is looking for his first win since May 15th. He beat the Mets on the road. It's been nothing but losses since, and he knows it is a key stretch of the year for him after a very poor start to the season, trying to make his second half of the season better than his first.
No, that's the way he has to look at it. He can't worry about what has happened up to this point. Just start to throw the baseball better, get some wins, and get that location back. That's been an issue for him all season long, locating his pitches.
Brian Dozier swings and rips one way back. That is long gone. Brian Dozier with his 15th home run of the season. The Twins leader in that category, and he gives Minnesota a quick start here tonight.
No, the home run ball has been a big problem for Lohse this year. 18th allowed by Kyle Lohse. You can see where it is, right down the middle of the plate, up in the zone, and Brian Dozier has got as much power as any second baseman in the game, giving the Twins a 1-0 lead.
Dozier having an all-star caliber season, and a leadoff home run to put the Twins on top. Dozier leads the American League in extra base hits. He has 41, and only Todd Frazier of the Reds with more extra base hits in all of baseball. And getting that production from a second baseman.
And Target Field is a very good doubles ballpark, doubles, triples, and he still has the big home run totals as well. Twins really weren't swinging the bats all that well when the Brewers were at Target Field earlier this year. They've been swinging them much better as of late and getting much better pitching.
Now, one of the keys to their turnaround, by all accounts, is this man right here, Torrey Hunter, back with the Minnesota Twins where he began his career. And Torrey Hunter has brought a lot of leadership. He's brought a little levity to that clubhouse. He has been the perfect clubhouse captain for new manager Paul Molitor. And Molitor rightly gives him a lot of leash. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hunter.
And Torrey Hunter's been like that for a long time. I mean, he's the guy that everybody looks to in that dugout. They watch him go about his business. Works very hard before games, and he's a gamer. He's going to be out there just about every day.
Now the Twins are coming off a series win against the Chicago White Sox, and they beat Chris Sale and the White Sox on Wednesday. They had yesterday off. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cubs prior to that, and then the interleague home-and-home series they had this year was against St. Louis, and they split that series 2 apiece. So they've beaten some of the better teams. They had a great month of May. The Twins went 20-7 in the month of May. June's been a little different story for them. Minnesota just 9 wins, 14 losses in the month of June. And you mentioned their offense, Rock. That's really where their struggles have come. They're hitting as a team at .234 for the month of June.
And they've been hanging around with those Kansas City Royals because of their pitching. Their starting pitching's been very good in this stretch. But it's amazing how the Twins have been able to hang in there with some call. I mean, you talk to the folks with this ball club, the Brewers, and they say the Kansas City Royals are the best team that they faced this year, but the Twins are hanging right in there.
Yeah, they're just 3.5 back of Kansas City in the American League Central to start play today. Taking along a lot of their characteristics of their manager, which Paul Molitor downplays. And the long at bat of Torrey Hunter continues here. Molitor, a 15-year career in Milwaukee. And it is interesting that he is just the third manager that the Twins have had since 1986. They've had great stability there. Tom Kelly first, and then Ron Gardenhire. Hunter into center field. That ball is well hit. Back is Gomez with room. And there is out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Brewers Menards defense tonight. A little bit more consistency in this lineup for Craig Counsell. Park, Gomez, and Braun in the outfield. You got Aramis Ramirez, Gene Segura, Scooter Gennett, and Adam Lind from third to first, and Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate. Lucroy's been throwing the ball very well. He's thrown out 6 of his last 12.
That's Dan Iasonia. He's calling the balls and strikes. On the bases, Scott Berry, Lance Barrett, and Gabe Morales. Isonia's been a World Series umpire. He's a good one. Here's Joe Mauer. Mauer having a down season, hitting at just .256. Has only 4 homers, 37 runs batted in. One of those 4 home runs came against Milwaukee, and that was against Loesch at Target Field. His on-base percentage is under .330 this year, but he's another one of those guys you just kind of throw out the records, because only Troy Tulowitzki has a higher batting average against Milwaukee among active players. Joe Mauer, in his career against the Brewers, a .349 hitter. Has 8 homers, 34 RBIs in 57 career games.
Well, he's always been a tough out. He hit the ball where it's pitched. Not over swinging. Hey, remember that start that Loesch had in Minneapolis? Had a 5-0 lead. That was his numbers against Kyle. He had a 5-0 lead, did Loesch, early in the ball game, and then gave up a 5-run fifth. That's the inning that Mauer hit the home run.
There's a strike on a fastball. Caught him guessing. 3-2 on Mauer. Loesch giving up a leadoff home run to Dozier. He retired Hunter on a 10-pitch sequence, and now Mauer fouls one away. So already a 20-pitch inning, and he only has 1 out in the inning. Just when you're trying to ease into a game.
Yeah. No, and that's been the issue for Kyle. He has not been able to really spot his pitches where he wants them. You leave him up and you get foul balls, even when hitters are a little bit fooled. Get him down in the strike zone, you get the ground balls, you might get a swing and a miss.
In the air, opposite field, back on it is Parra. He's got it at the track. 2 away for Loesch, who is a ground ball pitcher when he is right, and a couple of long fly ball outs after the Dozier homer. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. He's been a productive third baseman for the Twins. And Rocky, look up and down their lineup, and other than Dozier's power numbers, nothing really stands out at you as a dominant run producer at the plate. They're pretty balanced with their runs batted in. As a matter of fact, the top 4 in their lineup have all driven in at least 36 runs. So that gives you an idea. The bottom of their order is getting on at a little better clip than most. They're all picking up their end of the slack, and then Dozier's having one of these big years for a second baseman.
Right, they don't hit a lot of home runs. 57 now home runs for Minnesota. But they play good, solid defense. I mean, it's been a kind of a revolving door at shortstop for them, but they got Dozier over there. Pretty good outfield. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're well prepared and usually don't give extra outs.
1-2 pitch to Plouffe, and that one just missed. One player the Twins are missing, I think everybody was excited to see, is their outstanding rookie, one of their top prospects, and the number 2 overall prospect in baseball, Byron Buxton. They just put him on the disabled list. He was injured on Tuesday against the White Sox, sliding into second base. He strained his left thumb, and he actually played Wednesday. Didn't play well, and they realized that that thumb was hurting a little worse than he let on, so they put him on the disabled list, and they brought Danny Santana back. Here's a 2-2. skips in. The count goes full to Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah, they were hoping that Buxton would come in and steal some bases. This is not a team that runs a whole lot. Not a lot of home runs. Not a lot of stolen bases for the Twins.
Loesch in a full count. 2 outs in the inning. And another foul ball, having a tough time putting away the hitters. Well, the injury to Buxton certainly rearranges the short-term thinking here for Minnesota. Very exciting player. He's only hitting 189, but a bad slide, and he got his hand caught in the dirt, and that left thumb proved to be DL worthy.
Yeah, Twins are a little concerned about that thumb. Might not just be a strain. You never know.
Yeah, they're saying 4 to 6 weeks on that.
But again, that element of speed that he provides. He's a tremendous defender in center field. Can run a little bit. He's got a tremendous throwing arm, and Paul Molitor was looking forward to teaching that young man how to steal bases.
Yeah, and they had him hitched to the wagon of Torrey Hunter as well, which is not a bad place to be. So that changes the plans a little bit. As Plouffe pops it up, Loesch hangs tough in another long at bat and muscles his way through the first. A Brian Dozier homer has the Twins on top. The Brewers are coming to bat. They lead it 1-0. The Brewers are now coming to bat for the first time. Craig Counsell in his Friday pinstripes. Retro Friday tonight with the ball and glove logo. Perfect setting for Paul Molitor's return. Here's Counsell's Potawatomi batting order. Parra, Lucroy, and Braun at the top. You got Lynn, Gomez, Ramirez in the middle. Segura, Jeanette, and Loesch rounding it out. And a guy that has the name of Trevor May, but they ought to change it to Trevor June because he's been very good in the month of June.
He's got a 188 earned run average and 4 starts in the month of June, but a 1-2 record. 25 years old, 6'5", 240 pounds in his second year with Minnesota. Made 9 starts last year. 3-6 his record. Well, to a slow start this year, but boy, has he turned it up. Month of June's been good.
Well, they're hoping they can change his name to Trevor October at some point. Twins would love to have games in that month as Parra sends one deep into center field. That is way back. Oh, it's gone. It is off the glove of Robinson and out of the ballpark. A home run for Gerardo Parra with a little assist from Shane Robinson.
Now there you go. Leadoff home run for Minnesota. Leadoff home run for the Crew. Check it out. Parra gives this one a pretty good ride. Robinson gets back. He leaps. Would it have been out of the ballpark? It might have gone off the top of the wall and over. Let's see where it would have been. That might have been a home run anyway, but off the end of the glove. Robinson got there, but not able to squeeze it, and that'll be a 4-bagger for Gerardo Parra.
Like an alley-oop. And the two leadoff hitters tonight with home runs. Shane Robinson, the former Cardinal, Dozier and Parra with tallies in this first inning. For Gerardo Parra, that is his 6th career leadoff home run. Yeah, all smiles today. So here's Lucroy. Jonathan comes in with a batting average of .224. On base percentage .264. He had a good run against Minnesota. He was just back from the disabled list in that series, and he had 6 hits against the Twins a couple of weeks ago.
He's starting to be a little bit more like himself, driving the ball to right field, staying on it. Sometimes he gets a little bit anxious up there, rolls over, and that's not his game. His game is up the middle and to right field with some power. Doubles power to right center.
And Lucroy rips one into left center. And he's going to get down. A one-hopper off the fence and up and out. Ground rule double for Jonathan Lucroy. They had Lucroy shaded in the gap in right center. And he rips one into left center.
Well, a couple of Brewers able to square up Trevor May. Look at this fastball. Middle in. It was supposed to be away. And look at Lucroy able to drop the head of the bat on it. And Robinson couldn't get there. He was shaded toward right center. So 2 very hard hit balls to start this game. Not a lot of movement for Trevor May in the fastball. Pretty straight. They're trying to get him to throw a 2-seamer, but it's really not been very effective.
Now 2 sharply hit balls to start it offensively for the Brewers. And here is Ryan Braun now. Got Lucroy at second. Braun takes a strike. Ryan at .250 coming in. Batting average is low by his standards. Power numbers are there though. 14 home runs, 45 runs batted in. He's missed a little time this year. Not much. No disabled list trips. Has had to take a few days off here or there. And then right before the Brewers went to Minnesota, he had to make a trip to Los Angeles for another cryotherapy injection on his thumb. That's a procedure to freeze up the nerve, and he's hoping that's going to be his last one of the year. He was hoping to get through the All-Star break before he needed a little work on that right thumb, but couldn't make it. So he went in early June and came back against the Twins, where he could DH.
Well, everything's been pretty good for Ryan except for that batting average. I'd like to see that get up there a little bit. .250 entering play tonight. Home runs, RBIs, where you would expect Ryan to be.
Braun on the homestand, 3 for 11. 1 run batted in. The Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, losing yesterday afternoon's game against Jacob deGrom. Brewers won the first 2 good ball games here at Miller Park. First 2 games of the series against the Mets, and close games. A couple of saves for Francisco Rodriguez. Winning at home has been a challenge for the Brewers this year. Winning everywhere, but especially at home. Brewers' home record is 13-25 now. They'd like that to significantly increase. If you're going to have a season like this one, you want to make sure you're giving your home fans something to cheer about. Good start to this homestand in that category with a couple of wins.
It's just been one of those years, but you know, I think that the Brewers lineup is starting to get a little bit more consistent. You see the names in that lineup more like you would expect to be in that Brewers lineup day to day. Guys starting to get healthy. Just waiting for Chris Davis to get back, and Willie Peralta.
Now both are on the comeback trail. Sophia will have a report on both of those players in our broadcast. Willie Peralta out with an oblique injury. Chris Davis out with a knee injury. Had a little routine surgery on a meniscus tear. But they are close to returning. Here's the 2-2, and Braun back up the middle, base hit. Lucroy around third. He's going to try to score, and he will score. Ryan Braun with a 2-strike hit and an RBI, and the Brewers take a 2-1 lead.
Well, May getting a lot of the plate with his fastball. Hasn't been able to throw the breaking ball for a strike. Changeup's been out of the strike zone, and the fastball has been, as we mentioned, very straight. Braun able to hit it hard into center, and with Shane Robinson playing as deep as he has been in this first inning, no way Lucroy's getting thrown out. So a good start to the night for the Crew. Swinging the bats tonight.
Braun all smiles thus far. RBI number 46, which leads the club, follows the Lucroy double. Here's Adam Lind. Lind coming off a good series against the Mets. Was 5 for 10. Had 5 hits against the Twins in that 3-game series earlier this year, including a home run. That was a no doubt home run onto the pavilion in right field, and he slaps one the opposite way. 4 consecutive hits to start the game for the Brew Crew.
And doing what he does best, stays right on that baseball, keeps the bat in the hitting zone a long time. And a line drive into left field. Well, that's a pretty swing for Adam Lind. Been real streaky this year, and he's right in the midst of a nice stretch right now. Lets the ball travel a little bit, and down and through a line drive into left field.
Now 6 for 11 on the homestand, and this is the 4th game of the homestand. And the Brewers got it cooking early again. 2 are in, 2 are on. Here is Carlos Gomez. Gomez has been the best the Brewers have with runners in scoring position this year. And he's got Braun out there at second base. This is almost the exact start the Brewers had against Bartolo Colon. And the Mets on Wednesday, first 4 batters reached, 2 runs scored. And then Colon settled down, and the Brewers didn't score for a few innings. So they'll try to keep it rolling here in this first inning. Little half swing, got a chance to turn it, and May throws it away. Into center field it goes. Braun's in easily. Oh, and what went from a double play chance ends up in center field with an error on the pitcher. Another run is in, and the other 2 advance.
Talk about just aiming one. I mean, not really solid under his feet. Didn't have his feet under him, and just kind of flipped it. Not even close out there to second base. Check this out. Check swing, and I'm not sure what's going on there with the throw, but a terrible throw. Just pulls it, and not even close to anybody at second.
You know, the way he set his feet, Rock, it looked like he wanted to make a throw to third base.
Yeah, but that's probably somebody said 2-2. You don't go to third base on that. You try to get a double play, and that's what you do. They put the pressure on him. I think he kind of got caught up in a moment. Get pressure on these guys, and they make mistakes. He's been throwing the baseball so well, and off to a horrible start here tonight.
Well, first-year pitching coach Neil Allen out for a quick word just to settle down the young Trevor May. 3 runs are in. And here is Aramis Ramirez with runners at second and third. Lind over at third base. Gomez at second.
Just can't get the breaking stuff over, and the Brewers know it. Just sitting on a fastball. Brewers had this situation against Colon. You just mentioned Colon when the Mets were here. Second and third, nobody out. 2 runs already in, but the Brewers not able to tack on. Colon was able to settle down.
Aramis Ramirez dropped in the order today, hitting 6th in the batting order. .215 batting average, has 8 homers. He's driven in 26. And he'd like to see all those numbers start to rise up, especially the batting average, on base percentage. That's a line drive out. Len, good base running, able to get back right to Plouffe. And that is the first out of the inning for Trevor May. And that gives us a chance to formally introduce the Menards Twins defense.
Yeah, about the middle of the pack in the American League. Pretty good outfield. You got Rosario, Robinson, and Torrey Hunter in the outfield. Trevor Plouffe, Eduardo Nunez, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer from third to first. And the very solid defensive catcher for the Minnesota Twins, Kurt Suzuki.
Here's Gene Segura with one away. Twins bring their infield in. Well, Brian Dozier homered in the first to give the Twins a lead. A lot of action here in this first inning. Brewers come right back. They have scored 3 thus far. 4 consecutive hits to start it. Costly error by the pitcher May. And he is behind 2-0 on Segura.
Much better lineup for these days for Milwaukee. I mean, they got threats up and down that lineup right now, all the way down to 8th spot. You got Jeanette. More like the Brewers lineup than they expected when they started the season.
Segura in the right center. That is down, a base hit. Lynn scores. Here comes Gomez. He's in. A 2 RBI single for Gene Segura, and what an inning for the Blue Crew. 5 on the board. It's now 5-1.
And just laying the bat out there on a slider. That wasn't a bad pitch. It might not have been exactly where he wanted it, but Segura just making contact, dumping it into center. Yeah, check it out. It stayed up in his zone, but it was on the corner. But Shane Robinson plays so deep. No way he's going to get there, and he can't throw out Gomez trying to score. The Brewers on the attack here tonight.
All smiles in this first inning. 5 runs on 5 hits. Still just 1 out. Segura at first for Scooter Gennett. There goes Gennett, or Segura rather. The pitch to Gennett is outside strike and safe at second.
Had to get that toe back on second base. Almost overslid it. Sliding to the outfield side of the bag to make that tag a little bit longer. Number 10 for Segura.
He's only been caught once. Pitch was called a strike. And the throw coming up a little short, but
he's got to get that toe back on there. He's able to do it.
I think the Brewers would love for Segura to start to slide feet first. That's how he fractured his right pinky finger. It's why he wears that big brace on his hand. But instincts take over. Little cue shot by Gennett, and that rolls foul. Close. That had enough spin on it to make it interesting.
Right off the end of the bat, and you can see that spin, trying to keep it in fair territory, but Plouffe sees it goes foul and touches it.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Bernie's got some company up there in the chalet tonight.
TC Bear with a mustache. New wrinkle.
So it's a Bernie stash. Bernie's is bigger. I will say this about that Bear, though, man. He can really swing the bat.
Yeah.
He's a prolific home run hitter. And the home run derby that they do at Target Field before every game. Bear's got some talent. Scooter fouls it away. That'll be in the seats. Count is at a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's a softball home run hitting contest. They have him out there in the grass behind second base, and he can hit. You're right.
He hits bombs. He's lefty, right?
Good athlete. Yep. Bernie shows pretty good when the Brewers are there.
Yeah. Tough to see around the beard, though. I mean, the mustache. It's difficult to square up, see rotation.
Yeah, it takes getting used to.
One ball, two strikes. And Jeanette, base hit. Segura had to freeze on the line drive, so he holds his ground, and the hits keep coming. And the Twins bullpen is now active for Paul Molitor. Trevor May is getting roughed up here. The 6th hit already. And the kid who just got to the big leagues from the minor leagues yesterday is up and throwing right now. Alex Meyer gets loose. Here is Kyle Loesch batting in the 1st inning and still just 1 out. 1st and 3rd. Twins are looking for a bunt. Loesch gives him one. Here comes Segura. Squeeze is on. Segura safe.
Oh, what a nice jump by Gene Segura and a good bunt by Kyle Loesch. Good execution on that play. The safety squeeze was on. Segura doing a great job of getting that secondary lead. Check him out. Just crow hopping, sees the ball go down. Mauer knew what was going on all along. Throw a little bit high, but Segura able to beat it.
I don't know if that foot was down, and we might have a replay review here. It is so hard to slide and keep your foot down.
Got the hand got it.
Yeah,
the hand going by.
Paul Molitor was on his way to the mound before he crossed the line. Had a quick chat with Iasonia. I'm not sure if he brought up the fact that he wants to review it, but they're going to bring in a new pitcher. So that is a short night at the office for Trevor May, who's been pitching so well in the month of June. An ERA buster. May gets 1 out. He gets 1 out in this game. He is out in the 1st inning. The Brewers have 6 runs in. Very costly error by May as well. Could have been a little bit different. So Paul Molitor has a new weapon in his bullpen. He's been a starter in the minor leagues, has been a reliever this year. He is a hard thrower. Alex Meyer is on to pitch.
Yeah, making his major league debut. Called up before the game today. Made a couple of roster moves today, did the Twins. Started the season as a starter. He made 8 starts down in the minor leagues, 2 and 3 and a 7.09 earned run average. Then they moved into the bullpen, where he fared much better.
Facing Gerardo Parra, who started this inning with a home run. That one's lifted in the air deep to right. Playable for Torrey Hunter. And tagging is Jeanette. He'll end up at third. So the second out of the inning. The 10th batter of the inning. And that'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy with runners at the corners. 6-1 Milwaukee. Young Alex Meyer, he was acquired from the Washington Nationals. He was involved in that deal for Ben Revere, top 5 prospect in the Twins organization. And this was the prospect piece that the Twins were looking for. I beg your pardon, that was the Denard Span deal. That was prior to the 2013 season. And not only is he top 5 in the Twins system in the prospect list, he's top 30 across all Major League Baseball. Lucroy in the right. Torrey Hunter is there to end the inning. What an inning for the Brew Crew. They bring 11 to the plate. Trevor May gives up 6. It starts with a home run by Parra. Braun with an RBI. Segura drove in a pair. Even give Kyle Loesch one. 6-1 Milwaukee. Scoreboard in the first inning, scoring 6 runs on 6 hits, including that Parra home run. And it is 6-1 as we go to the second. Most runs the Brewers have scored in an inning this season. They had a 5-run inning back in early May against the Dodgers. Most runs in a first inning is better stated. A 6-run first.
And doing it off a guy that's been lights out in the month of June. I mean, a 188 earned run average coming into tonight in 4 starts in June, and the Brewers sent him to the showers in the first inning. 1/3 of an inning, 6 runs.
If you're wondering, as Loesch deals strike 1 to Eddie Rosario, the Brewers' largest inning in the season so far has been a 7-run inning. They scored 7 in an inning on May 22nd at Atlanta. So their largest first inning of the year. So now Loesch given a 5-run lead. And let's see if he can make that stand up. He had a 5-run lead evaporate in his last outing against the Twins.
And he was cruising along until he got to the 5th inning. Pitching very well. And gave up a 5-run 5th inning. And sometimes it's a mystery out there. It's just a fine line between finding your spots and missing.
Two and two to Rosario, the Minnesota left fielder. Twins have a couple of lefties in their lineup tonight, Rosario and Mauer.
He swung the bat pretty well against the Brewers in Minnesota. Good compact swing. Had some extra base hits.
And he pops this one up. Ramirez will make the call. Foul territory for out number 1. And all 4 outs for Kyle Loesch are in the air thus far.
That's kind of the way it's been for Kyle. He's not the ground ball pitcher this year that he has been in the past, which is why he's given up so many home runs, 18. Just doesn't have that good sink on his fastball, not keeping it down consistently with the breaking stuff. This is not a ballpark where you want to be a fly ball pitcher.
Here's Kurt Suzuki now. Excellent defensive catcher, Suzuki. They bounced Suzuki around in the batting order quite a bit this season. He's batting 6th in tonight's lineup. But he's one of those guys you can move around a little bit. He's hit 2nd at times this year. Mostly 5th or 6th. Has just 3 home runs on the season, 21 RBIs, but he does get on base around 300. A little late on the swing. Fly ball to right. Braun for out number 2. And another fly ball out for Loesch.
Yep, this Sunday is Paul Molitor Day at Miller Park. Paul Molitor bobblehead day, as all fans in attendance for the weekend finale between the Brewers and the Twins will get a bobblehead of the Igniter, courtesy of Clemens Sausage. Call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com to reserve your spot today.
Happen to have a Paul Molitor bobblehead they're going to give away. So he slides and his head bobbles. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one.
You can have it.
You can get your own. Paul Molitor had a busy day today. Loesch deals a strike to Eduardo Nunez. I thought it was interesting that his first day in, and you made a good point, though, he compartmentalizes as well as anybody. It's what made him a Hall of Fame player, but he knows the obligations, the responsibilities of coming back to Milwaukee, where he spent 15 years of his career. He's one of 2 players with the Brewers logo on his hat in the Hall of Fame. So instead of bowing down from it or shying from it, he answered all the questions. He spent time with Commissioner Emeritus Bud Selig. They went through the Selig experience together.
Yeah.
A private viewing.
Paulie in his Twins uniform.
He was in full uniform, wasn't he? And he said he got emotional during the Selig experience. If you have a chance, you make sure you go through that when you're here at Miller Park. It's a 12-minute experience, and it truly is an experience. It's not just a video. There's some really cool artifacts. There's a hologram. That
surprise ending.
Yeah, this is a very,
that blows you away. It's big league.
Very interesting finale. And Loesch had him 0-2, walked him. 2-out walk here in the second.
I'm not sure there's anything that's really going to cause Paul Molitor to lose focus. I mentioned it on the open today, that 39-game hitting streak. Once he got to about 27, 28, it was a constant bombardment of media. Had his own little press conference before the games and talking about it. He said, I'm going to deal with it before the game each day, and then don't bother with me. Don't bother it with me again. And he's one of those guys that he just lets, when he gets in that batter's box or he's in that dugout managing a game, he's not going to let any of these outside influences get to him too much.
Nunez swipes second base. Got a big jump. And he steals second to get himself in scoring position. Just his second of the year. Twins don't have a whole lot of base stealers. They've got some speed, but not quite the big base stealers at this point. I know that's something Molitor would like to bring to the team. Would like them to be a better base running team, more aggressive.
That's what they were hoping Buxley could provide for him.
Well, he's got Shane Robinson 0-2. And a little half swing roller out to Lynn. That'll be easy. And Los with the all-important shutdown inning after his club got him 6 in the first. Ryan Braun, Adam Lind, Carlos Gomez due up. Six runs on the board in the first. 5 of those are earned. Brewers chase the starter Trevor May in that first inning. He recorded just 1 out. So here's the young kid making his big league debut. Hard throwing right-hander Alex Meyer. He got the final 2 outs of the first inning, and he starts a fresh inning here, and he slings it in at 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, flamethrower out of that bullpen. Something the Twins don't have a lot of. They say he can get it up there at about 99 when he really gets juiced up pretty good.
Ryan Braun leading off this second inning. He's even in the count, a ball and a strike.
So the secondary pitches that he struggled with down in the minor leagues, which is why they turned him into a relief pitcher. Not necessary to have 3 different pitches. You get by with 2 as a reliever.
He put up some huge strikeout numbers in his minor league career, averaging 10.3 strikeouts per 9 innings throughout his minor league career, which started in 2012. And he did make 8 starts at AAA Rochester this season. Had 9 games out of the pen, 8 starts early in the season. So he's got a chance to give the Twins some length here, maybe a few innings, but I'm sure he's battling plenty of nerves in his major league debut.
It's, the nerves might not be as bad, when you're down 6-1 as you might, you go into a ball game tied or very close. The nerves might be a little higher, but through that last one at 98 miles an hour, just missed with 96.
And Braun will draw the walk. So a leadoff walk. And therein lies some of the challenges with Alex Meyer. To go along with those 10+ strikeouts per 9, he also walked nearly 4 batters per 9. So he's given up a little bit of traffic, and then he also allowed around 8 hits per 9. So if you add the hits and the walks, and you're talking about 12 base runners per inning, that's a lot, or per 9 innings, I should say. That's a lot of traffic,
a lot of base runners
behind you.
And Suzuki looks like he's diving all over the place trying to catch him. He's 6'9", 225 pounds according to the Twins media guide. 25 years old.
Adam Lind, Braun takes off, pitches a strike, throw to second is late. And Ryan Braun with a stolen base. He's got a good number going this year, Braun. He's only been caught once. Picks his spots, but he is 8 out of 9 in the stolen base category, and he got a nice jump.
Yeah, he was creeping the whole way, and Meyer didn't stop him. He just kept moving a little bit further and further, and you see Kurt Suzuki, what's he doing? Make him stop. He's you can read his lips.
He's tough on the kid in his major league debut.
A little nervous, Kurt.
Sure, the wheels are spinning. I like how he looks over there as if, you know, somebody's at fault here. And
catchers do that, but normally with the mask on, so everybody doesn't see it.
Whoever's in charge of this guy. Well, for now, it's Suzuki. Bringing the heat. The crowd applauding a good catch.
That was a nice one. Right below us.
In the Lowe's level. All this talk about the first-round draft picks out of the University of Kentucky at the NBA draft yesterday, and they had 6 of them. Alex Meyer is out of the University of Kentucky, and he was a first-rounder. Ground ball to Mauer, and Meyer covers. Mauer to Meyer, and Lind is retired.
6'9", he could have been a basketball player.
I'm telling you. Probably not at Kentucky, but
no,
maybe somewhere else. Now, Meyer was taken in the first round. He was the 23rd pick overall in 2011. He is from the Midwest. He grew up in Indiana, Greensburg, Indiana. College ball at Kentucky, Big Blue. Jumped into pro ball in 2012. That year, the following year after he was drafted, and has made it to the big leagues here in 2015.
In the middle of a pennant race. Yep.
Stepping into the fire. Infield end with a runner at third, and Gomez a wave and a miss.
That's a nice slider right there. You get a hit with a fastball, then you drop that pitch. Got to start that bat a little earlier when you're throwing in the upper 90s, and you can throw that pitch for, or even close to the strike zone. You're going to have some success. There's that infield in for Gomez.
Carlos involved in a key play in the first inning. We'll see how the rest of this game goes, but Gomez with a ground ball back to the pitcher, May, and he froze and didn't quite know what to do with it. And when he finally made a decision, he threw it into center field. And a little flare into right. Gomez just drops the bat hit out there for a base hit. That's going to score Braun. And the beat goes on for Milwaukee. 7-1 Brewers. Gomez with an RBI single.
Yeah, Carlos shortened up his stroke just a little bit. You like to see him do that with 2 strikes, particularly with a man at third base. Not that big swing you see from Carlos, and just flicks it out there. He knows right away it's a base hit.
Short stepping.
He said, I'll take it. Not the hardest hit ball I've had in my career, but it's an RBI.
He looked like the drum major right there. He's now hit safely in 16 of his last 19 games, and part of that dealing with an injury. Ramirez takes a ball.
Darnell Coles probably has a nice smile on his face watching that approach by Carlos with 2 strikes. Just shorten up, dump it into the short outfield with the infield in.
Seven to 1, 7 runs on 7 hits before the Twins record their 6th out, their 5th out actually. Two and 0 to Ramirez.
We're talking about how good the starting pitching was for the Twins over the last couple of weeks.
Well, over their last 8 games, to your point, they have an earned run average of 1.98. Their starting pitchers. It's been the reason they've hung in there. Those numbers are going to jump up significantly tonight. Ramos pops it up behind home plate. That'll be in the seats.
It only takes one, right? One bad start to kind of put an end to that. That's how the Twins hang in there. You know, pitching and defense. Rough start for them tonight. But they do get their young flamethrower an opportunity to get some extended innings today.
Three balls and a strike. You got to know he's nervous and all those major league debut jitters. Hard to take a breath to swallow. And that ball's hit deep. Ramirez sends it out of here. A home run for Ramos Ramirez. It is 9-1 Milwaukee into the cheese fries at Fridays.
They're up a 3-1 fastball. You're not going to get too many of those by Ramirez. Young man getting behind in the count, not able to put hitters away with a slider, and this is what he gives them. Middle in, and Ramirez waiting for it. He gets it and knocks it out of here on the line. Well, a 9 spot for the Crew in the first 2 innings.
A good catch up there at Fridays. Powerball home run number 9. Here is Segura. Base is empty. 3 runs are in. 9 runs are in for the game. Ramirez with 9 homers, 28 RBIs now.
Hit the ball hard both times up. He lined out the third his first time up.
Up and in. Back Segura out of there.
And we'll say this about Meyer. It couldn't be a better case scenario. You get called up today. He's not sitting around for 3 or 4 days wondering, when he's going to get his first opportunity. Throw him right in there. Get it out of the way. The longer you sit in that bullpen without pitching, when you get called up the first time, tougher it becomes. A lot of sitting around. You didn't have to deal with that.
Well, he strikes out Segura. Good breaking ball there. His first major league strikeout comes to Gene Segura here at Miller Park.
That is a good slider. 86 miles an hour, and just can't throw enough of them close to the plate to get swings. That was actually a strike, I think. That little off the corner. Segura with a defensive swing.
He's got a little bit of Max Scherzer in his delivery, where he's got a lot of body movement, tilt. He kind of slings it in there like Scherzer, who's coming off a no-hitter and on the mound again tonight for the Washington Nationals. Scherzer's given up some hits tonight. He's given up 3 to the Phillies, but his Nats are leading 5-1. As a matter of fact, Scherzer retired the first 16 batters tonight before he gave up a hit.
He's in his zone, isn't he?
Man, I'll tell you what. You think about his shutout, a one-hitter here at Miller Park, and then he had a no-hitter his next time out, and then he retired 16 in a row tonight. And he's only given up 3 hits. The Phillies just got a run a moment ago in the 7th inning. The National League leader in ERA, Scherzer, and not the same build as Scherzer, but similar kind of slingshot mechanics. As Scooter Gennett turns one around, back into right it goes, and it is up and out of here. Scooter Gennett going up there where the big boys hit him. His 4th home run. And Gennett has hit 3 of those since returning from the minor leagues a couple of weeks ago. 10-1 Milwaukee in the 2nd inning.
Right. Oh, boy. The hitting shoes are on tonight. Well, again, Meyer. Fastball down the middle. I don't care how hard you throw it. You can't throw that slider, curveball consistently for strikes. Doesn't look like there's a lot of movement on that fastball either from Meyer, and Scooter Gennett knocks one out of here. 3rd home run of the night for Milwaukee already.
Well, Gennett showing a lot of pop. Here's Kyle Loesch, who is batting for the 2nd time, and we're in the 2nd inning. And if you're a starting pitcher, that is music to your ears. You're turning the lineup over on quite a bit.
And Kyle looking to beat the Twins for the first time in his career.
It's the only major league team he has not beaten. And he strikes out. It has taken the Twins 18 batters to record the first 6 outs. The Brewers have 10 on 9 hits, including a home run by Ramirez and Scooter Gennett.
Third inning, and the Brewers Wives online basket auction is underway. You have until Sunday to start bidding. I am joined by 2 women now, Sarah Lucroy and Larissa Braun, who are part of the Brewers Wives auction. They've put together baskets, their husband's favorite things, all benefiting Lissy's Place, which helps to end poverty with women who have gone through foster care and also homeless women. So hoping to end the cycle of homelessness and poverty. And Sarah, let's talk about Jonathan's basket. What are some of his favorite things that you included?
Well, with Jonathan's basket, we actually included Maldonado and Marcus Hanel, so they're all in one. And we did a bobblehead, the Star Wars bobbleheads in there. And I also have signed baseball cleats from Jonathan and Maldonado. So there's a lot of great items in there. Y'all need to go ahead and bid.
Lots of great items from Jonathan, Maldonado as well. And Larissa, what items did you include in Ryan's basket?
For Ryan's basket, I included some signed batting gloves, a signed baseball, Some T-shirts, and I kind of did like a sports theme because he's really into sports and ping pong and basketball. So I did a couple things there, and of course his favorite candies, Sour Patch Kids. I had to include those.
Sour Patch Kids are good for anyone, especially when you're here at the ballpark. So thank you, ladies. You have until Sunday night, 11:59. You can go to brewers.com/wives to bid on those baskets. And again, Debbie Adonasio's basket is the big winner right now, over $3,000. So be sure to bid and benefit a great place, Lissy's Place.
All right, good work by all. And thank you, Sophia. The online auction now through June 29th, brewers.com. We'll have a few things in there, won't we, Rock? Don't we have?
You want to put together a basket? We weren't asked, but
we offer. We're very charitable that way. We like to offer up a VIP package.
Just not important enough.
I think it may be expected of us.
You think?
At this point, so we ought to just make it available. A VIP package, which is 4 tickets and trip down on the field for batting practice, and then you get to come to the booth and hang out in Rock's locker here in the booth. And if you're lucky, you can get our Hall of Fame stage manager, Renee Hoffman, to take an out of focus picture for you.
Wow.
And then you'll know it's the stamp of approval.
That's the first time you've actually attacked our stage manager, Renee. I mean, it's usually me and Mike. Not Mike Faulkner. Now Renee's in the crosshairs.
She's not skilled in that area.
You're running out of material on us. Is that what it is?
Dozier lines one, left field line. That is foul. I'm just saying.
Hey, welcome to the family, Renee. It only took 9 years, but
those are just some of the things you can get here in the booth. Say hi, Renee.
There's Renee. The first shot across the bow to Renee. So
she's the greatest.
Welcome to the family.
And then this guy right here, Paul, he's still waiting for a big sponsor to put on his hat. So anybody who's out there willing, he's waiting to officially represent your company. Paul helps us with the audio.
That's good.
What they call the A2, and he's very skilled, and he usually sizes us up during the opens, and he makes us all very nervous around here at times. Very good at what he does.
Anybody else you want to fire on? It's early yet. It's only the third inning. That's good.
I just like introducing everybody, and not everybody's perfect like you, Rock. And
oh yeah,
Renee's the closest. She does have one flaw, and that's her picture-taking ability.
Don't backpedal now. You're on a roll tonight.
Here's a 3-2 to Dozier, and that ball's hit well. Way back in center, Gomez with room. He's got it just in front of the wall.
Yeah, right spot of the ballpark. That deep part of the field and center. Right, Dozier puts a good swing on a baseball. Not just power to left field, but he has enough power to get out of here to the opposite field. I wonder how many home runs Dozier would have if he didn't hit at Target Field.
Oh man,
I mean, that's a big ballpark.
I think Gomez is sporting a new glove tonight. We'll have to get Sophia on that. It's got that Gold Glove patch. You only get those when you win a Gold Glove, by the way. Torrey Hunter on the ground, right to Segura. And that's a good inning for Loesch. 3 up, 3 down. Brewers are rolling tonight. 10-1. We head to the bottom of the third. That is not a typo. In the bottom of the third, Brewers are coming up, and a reminder, tomorrow baseball night in America returns. The Cubs renew their rivalry with the Cardinals. Coverage begins 6 p.m. Central on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Those two teams are underway tonight. They're in the fourth inning in St. Louis, and the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead tonight. Two contenders in the National League Central. Brian Dunsing is the new pitcher for Paul Molitor. His third pitcher used already as we go to the third inning.
Yeah, see his numbers not all that great. 822 earned run average, only 9 strikeouts to go along with 10 walks and 15 in the third innings, although his last 3 outings have been scoreless. Last time out against the Cubs, a scoreless inning that included 2 strikeouts.
Gerardo Parra batting for the third time already. Homer to start the game offensively for the Brewers. Flew out to right his last time up, and here he is batting again in the third inning. Milwaukee got 6 in the first, 4 in the second. 10 runs on 9 hits. Twins have committed 1 error. That was the starter, Trevor May, the pitcher, who committed the error. Making 1 of those runs unearned in the first. Parra got it started with a bang tonight. Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Shane Robinson might have had a catch, might have hit the top of the wall, but pushed it over the wall for a home run.
Yeah, Parra hit a breaking pitch out. It was a curved ball that was down the middle and knocked it out of here to center field. 3 home runs for the Brewers already tonight.
Parra, Ramirez, and Jeanette. Well, the Twins are 3.5 back of the Royals in the American League Central. Kansas City tonight is in Oakland. So they've got a late West Coast start. Start looking at the wild card standings as well. And Minnesota coming into play today is in the top wild card spot. Obviously, that is going to change a great deal. There are 2, 4, 6, 7 teams within 2 games of the 2 wild card spots right now. Division leaders in the American League, the Rays, the Royals, and the Astros. Kansas City has the best record in the American League. But the Twins are a factor this year. Parra into left. Sends Rosario back a touch toward the line. He's got it for the out.
Yeah, Twins and Astros have to be the 2 biggest surprises, if not in the American League, in all of baseball so far this year. Who would have thought that either one of those 2 teams would be where they're at?
And in a day where there is competitive balance, there aren't the powerhouse dominant teams of the past. You've got the Rays and the Royals and the Astros and the Twins.
Yep.
And they're all in the mix here.
Yep. Well, it's good to see. It really is. Changing of the guard, perhaps. At least at this point. Cardinals with the best record in all of baseball with 48 wins. They're 48-24.
No other team has more than 43 wins. That's the Astros. St. Louis has won 3 in a row, and they're leading against the Cubs tonight as Lucroy grounds weakly to second. 2 outs. Over the National League, it's the Nationals, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers as division leaders. Washington has won 6 straight, and they've got Scherzer on the mound with a lead tonight against the Phillies.
Cardinals are 26-7 at home this year.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it?
7 losses all season. Twins are one of the better home teams in the big leagues as Braun lines one foul. Minnesota's 10 games over 500 in their home ballpark. 25-15. Pales in comparison to the Cardinals, though, who are 19 games over 500 at Busch Stadium. Pirates and the Cubs are the two in the wild card position right now, and you got the Giants, the Mets, Diamondbacks are in there, Atlanta, even the Reds. This is the time of year, though, that organizations have to start making very tough decisions. And you look at a team like the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, the Brewers know where they are, and they know what the plan is. They know they can trade pieces, and they have to be overwhelmed by what's coming back. But you start getting teams who are desperate to add pieces for a pennant chase, and you can flip your organization pretty quickly. But teams like the Braves and the Reds, there's some very difficult decisions to be made.
Right.
Because both teams have players that you could trade to get prospects and be sellers, or they have enough prospects to trade to add to their major league roster and try to fill some holes to help them contend. Tricky.
And again, you know, some teams feel as though there may be one or two players from contending next year. They might not want to unload some players, but all that's going to start heating up in the next couple of weeks. Trading deadline the end of July, and about 3 weeks from now you're going to see some activity in baseball. All quiet right now.
You can always tell who the buyers are and who the sellers are. You don't even have to look at the records, because the buyers, the teams that are trying to acquire major league players to help contending teams, all of their scouts are in the ballparks, the major league ballparks. The sellers, all of their scouts are in minor league ballparks,
right,
checking on prospects. As Braun strikes out, and the inning is over. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. First of the night. Dunsing retires him in order. We go to the fourth. Minnesota Twins. All right, so the United States women's soccer team won. They beat China 1-0 tonight. So the semifinals begin against Germany with a trip to the final on the line Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central. It's on your local Fox station, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Coverage beginning Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central. Team USA against Germany, 2 wins away from a World Cup title. Congratulations to them. Nice victory today against China up in Canada. Joe Mauer leading off this fourth inning for the Twins. Kyle Loesch given a lot of runs of support, and he's been able to put up a couple of zeros the last 2 innings. He's coming off a 3 up 3 down third. He's given up a hit, a run. That was a home run by Dozier. Issued a 2-out walk last inning. As Mauer drives one foul down the line, right through the hands.
That's a tough catch barehanded. Much easier.
Not for her.
One thing you don't want to do is get your face behind your hands.
Right.
Because that ball's not going to stop with the hands. It's going to go right through.
The shame of it all. And his buddy just got back. What happened? And he's got a glove. Base hit for Mauer. Opposite field single. It's like, dude, where'd you go? You went to get a beer and a ball came and we needed your glove.
You know how bad his hands feel right now? He's not about to say a word either.
Somebody else got the ball.
Yeah, check it out.
Dope. Oh, no, his buddy was there. I beg your pardon.
Ouch.
For shame. There's no reflection upon your character, young man. Can't do everything well.
I'll tell you, I give him credit for trying to catch that in a line drive. Barehanded. I mean, think about it. Would you go after that?
For sure.
You would not.
But, you know, I've been a fan. There's a line drive to right center. And back-to-back hits. Mauer's on his way to third. Trevor Plouffe with a single to right. So it's first and third, nobody out. And the Twins putting up a bit of a threat here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, a couple of pitches up in the strike zone. Both of them away. You know, Mauer able to hit one to left and Plouffe to right.
That'll bring up Eddie Rosario. When's the last time you sat in the stands for a game? Not like milling around like the other night in Kansas City, waiting on the plane to leave.
That did count.
When you actually had a ticket that you went to and sat in the stands.
Did I have to buy the ticket?
Yes.
I can't remember.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
I went to a game in spring training. Didn't buy the ticket, but I went with a couple of buddies.
Brewers spring training game this year?
Yeah.
You sat in the seats?
Over at Talking Stick, yep.
They must have been good friends.
Elaborate.
I'm just saying, there's not a lot of people that could get you to sit in the stands for a game when you watch baseball every day of your life.
Well, you know, I'm not playing golf anymore, so
that's true. What else you got to do?
Right. I went over there to Talking Stick. Actually had a great time. That was fun.
Ground ball to Segura. He'll flip to second for the out there, and too late. Ball gets away. Stays in play. The run does score. Mauer's in. It's the second run for the Twins. That'll be an RBI for Rosario. And a 6-4 put out at second base.
How about you? When was the last time you actually went to a ballpark and sat and watched?
Bought a ticket?
No, we know that's not happening. So. I mean, when was the last time you went anywhere and actually bought a ticket?
Not true, man. Well, it is true for myself. I seem to be buying a lot of tickets for other people.
Yeah, right.
Recently.
Yeah.
But, that was good. I asked you that first because I'm having a hard time remembering. Pretty sure when in my 4-year hiatus from baseball, when I was doing golf, when I was working for the Golf Channel. So I'm going to say 2006. Every time we'd go to a city to do a golf tournament, we'd go to a game. Right off the end of the bat. Try it again. Segura to Jeanette. Throw to first is up the line. And safe at first is Suzuki. Looked like Jeanette got taken out.
And there Rosario got down there quickly and really disrupted the throw of Scooter. Not able to get much on the throw. A little bit off the mark. Neither ball hit all that hard, and would have been a nice double play, but Rosario's good hustle into second base, a good clean slide. And the Twins still alive.
Yeah, Loesch upset. It's been that kind of year for him, and knowing he had a chance to get out of the inning. Doesn't matter the score. Loesch takes a lot of pride in what he does. Finally getting the ground balls, and he wants his defenders to make plays behind him.
Yeah, he has taken this personally. This season that he's had so far. Just not the same guy. I mean, he's the fun-loving guy. You just can't do that when you're scuffling like he is. And he's working at it. A lot of video. He's working on his mechanics. Just hadn't been able to find it. He hadn't been able to get the baseball down in the strike zone like he's been able to do the last 5-6 years.
Loesch was drafted by the Cubs, but he was traded to the Twins. And he made his big league debut with the Twins in 2001. Much different pitcher back then. Loesch was a four-seam fastball, high fastball, slider pitcher. Tried to rack up the strikeouts. Had some run-ins with Ron Gardenhire. As a Twin, Loesch was 51 and 57. Made 152 starts for Minnesota in a span from 01 to 06. He was traded to the Reds in 06. He was coming up on free agency that year. Reds were looking for a veteran starter. Runner goes, and a foul out of play on a 3-2 pitch.
Well, it wasn't until he got to St. Louis and things turned around for him. Really did. The two-seam fastball, which is a bit of mystery for him this year. Just hadn't been able to get the feel for that pitch, that ground ball pitch.
Now that's where it all changed for him, and it gives Dave Duncan a lot of credit. Signed with the Cardinals in 08. There's a swing and a miss, and Loesch is out of the inning. So a strikeout for Loesch. He gives up a run on 2 hits. It is 10-2 Brewers.
Hotel and Casino. A 10-2 lead for the Crew here in the fourth. And Paul Molitor's homecoming weekend, his first appearance here in Milwaukee as an opposing manager, started with a visit to the Selig experience, a personal invite from former commissioner Mr. Bud Selig himself. So Paul Molitor saying they had the opportunity to walk through it together, and he said it was way better than he could have even imagined. He said it was very emotional for him to walk through it, and he said it was great to have that opportunity to tell Mr. Selig how much it meant to him, the relationship that they had during his playing career, how grateful he was for all of his time here and his role in the game of baseball. So he said there was a lot of links to the history of the game, and was really blown away by the entire experience.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Yeah, that is it's a great piece and tribute, and it centers around Bud Selig, of course, who brought Major League Baseball here to Milwaukee. But you know, there is a lot of Paul Molitor and a lot of Robin Yount, Mark Atanasio, Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker narrates it, so it's just a great historical piece on baseball.
There was a family atmosphere around here back in those days. It really was. I mean, the Seligs, Sue and Bud, it was like family in that clubhouse. Just an honor to be able to come up. When I came up in 1983, guys like Molitor and Yount in that clubhouse, and Pete Vukovich and Ted Simmons, Bud Ogilvy, Cecil Cooper. I mean, these guys, man. Don Sutton. There was 4 Hall of Famers in that clubhouse. Raleigh Fingers was there. Don Sutton. Those were the days when you came up and you sat in the corner and hoped nobody looked at you. You didn't want anybody talking to you. You didn't want anybody messing with you. You just had that respect, and you just stayed to yourself and tried to be a part of the ball club.
Adam Lind with a base hit to start the inning for the Brewers. Hit number 9, and that is a milestone hit for Adam Lind, his 1,000th career hit. And he'll get a nice hand from this Miller Park crowd. They just posted it on the scoreboard.
Hey, he can hit. There's no doubt about that. I mean, a good solid hitter. He's been hitting lefties and righties this year.
Thousand hits in the big leagues. He's played in just over 1,000 games in the big leagues, has Adam Lind. Carlos Gomez with a runner at first. Think about 1,000 hits. That's a lot of hits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice career in the major leagues. 1,000 hits. And then you look over there in another dugout. As Gomez grounds to short, they get the out at first. Good play over there by Nunez. And look over there in that other dugout, and Paul Molitor in the Hall of Fame.
Over 3,000.
Over 3,000 hits. 3,000.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And then if you really want to blow the mind, you think about Pete Rose, the all-time Major League hit king. And amazing totals.
15 years of 200 hits. That's what 3,000 is. And 200 hits is a ton of hits in a season. You don't see that much anymore. 200 hits in a year.
Aramis Ramirez takes a strike. Well, Aramis Ramirez has been around for 18 big league seasons. Has over 2,200 hits in his career. But he's calling it quits after this season. He's just going to come up short of 2,500 hits and 400 home runs. But the numbers he did accumulate are pretty impressive, Ramirez.
Yeah, the RBIs, the home runs.
Yeah, over he's got a chance at 1,400 RBIs. He needs 30 more RBIs after his home run tonight to get to 1,400 RBIs. Those are just gaudy numbers.
Yeah. Longevity. You got to stick around a long time and be productive for a long time. Keep yourself in shape. Stay healthy. It's only been recently that Ramirez has been battling injuries. He's been relatively healthy throughout his career.
One ball, 2 strikes in the dirt. Count goes to 2-2. Ramos had some hamstring problems last year. But to accumulate those kind of numbers, you got to be in the lineup. Has only a couple of years once he became a regular player, just a couple of seasons where he didn't play more than 100 games. On the ground, right to short. This should be 2. It is, and the inning is over. 6-4-3 double play. Another scoreless inning by the lefty Dunsing. Leading the Minnesota Twins in this interleague matchup tonight. And that leads us to our Carsoup.com trivia. Who is the only player in Major League history to record his 3,000th hit with a triple? He's the only one. That's a softball for the diehard Brewer fans out there. Good question, though. Good trivia. Shane Robinson leads off. Loesch back to work, and he pumps a strike in there to get the inning started. Robinson bounced over to Lind his first time up. It was a little half swing and a ground out. Loesch has given up 2 runs. RBIs today from Rosario. A home run from Dozier. Pitching with a 10-2 lead. Twins had the first lead, actually. Got that leadoff home run from Dozier. And then Milwaukee with 6 in the bottom of the first. 11 batters in the inning. Robinson pops it up. Ramirez with the call and the catch, and out number 1. Get a lead like this, if you're pumping in the strikes and getting some quick outs, you can take the spirit away from an opposition. That's exactly what you want to do.
Well, Loesch was able to do that in the second and third innings for sure. After the Brewers able to put up 10 runs, put up zeros, and that's deflating. Good opportunity for Lopes to try and work on the mechanics and try and get the feel for those off-speed pitches here tonight.
Dunsing, the pitcher, over to Lind. Nice easy play for him. 2 away.
Hey, the Brewers and Twins continue their border battle at Miller Park with a Saturday afternoon showdown tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Then on Sunday afternoon, the interleague rivals will close out their series with Paul Molitor Bobblehead Day, courtesy of Clements. For tickets, go to Brewers.com. You still going to keep this one?
Yeah, I'm going to hang on to that.
Well, you put it in the middle again. I mean, you keep doing that. You taking it? You're going to leave it here until Sunday?
I did put that on your side. Our booth is clearly marked. And I apologize for that. I'm going to go ahead and put that back on my side over here. All my other stuff. You don't mind if I stretch out a little bit, do you?
No, go ahead.
Make a little room for myself.
I'm kind of tucked over here in the corner. I don't know what that aftershave you're wearing is.
Really? You're tucked in the corner.
Oh, look at me.
So there's a line right here.
Right.
That is exactly half of this table.
I know, but
there are 2 human beings over
look
on
at
this
how far
side.
over here I am. You can stretch out a little bit. What do you want me to drag you over here?
Base hit by Dozier. And he's 2 out of 3.
I've been here for a while now. I mean,
21 years.
No.
Oh,
this year.
Oh, this year.
Just inviting you to come creep over a little bit.
I don't feel comfortable crossing this line.
Not doing that.
You know, you've established the boundaries so firmly when I first got here. This half will be mine. This other half over here will be yours and Mike's.
You can have as many people over in your half as you want.
That's right. That's what you said. That's right.
Kind of soften that.
I don't think so.
That up a little bit. Although they didn't have to move that box you stand on for the open.
I do. It is a good box. It's more like a couple of
big piece of wood.
Yeah, a couple of 2x4s.
Now you're welcome to spread out, buddy.
Appreciate that. I might take you up on that.
Nothing permanent.
And then it'll feel like we're at Wrigley Field, which is a lot like the cockpit of an airplane. Torrey Hunter. Oh, what a catch! Scooter rises high and brings it down, robbing Hunter of a base hit. Scooter Gennady's got a home run tonight, flashing a little D as well. Get up, little man. That's the way you do it.
Twins, and tonight's time of the game winner, Elbow Room in Toma. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2015 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Gene Segura leads off. First ball swinging. Dunsing with a leadoff out. 1 pitch, 1 out to Segura to start the 6th, or start the 5th, I beg your pardon. Dunsing's done a good job to settle this game down a little bit after the Brewers scored 10 runs. 2 scoreless thus far. You see the night of Scooter Gennett at the plate, courtesy of Wendy's. 2 for 2 tonight. Since his recall from AAA, Scooter has 13 hits, 43 at-bats. That's a .302 batting average. He's hit 3 home runs in that stretch. When he was sent down to AAA, he was hitting .154 with 1 home run. Been a different player since he's come back. And he's played good defense as well.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit more focused. You know, Scooter, went down there. It really didn't tweak mechanics at all, or do anything really different than what he was doing early in the season. He just was able to relax and get his game together, and much better. Still has a long way to go to get that batting average up.
213 coming in, and a pop up over the shoulder goes Nunez for the 2nd out. Gennett spent about 3 weeks down in the minor leagues. He was sent down May 18th, called back up June 11th. And, that's a good line in the sand for him. You start chasing numbers. Sometimes organizations, especially with young players, they can make it easier for you by you get sent down, you get a demarcation line, and then you come back up, and much easier to say since I got back, this is what I've done.
Right.
Because they flash those stats up on every scoreboard for everybody to see, and if you start chasing them, it can make for a lot of mental anguish.
Well, and that's what the Brewers have to do as a team as well. They can't think about what's going on in the past. They're playing much better baseball as of late, over the last 3 weeks now. They won 4 series. Can't worry about what's happened in April and May. Look forward, start to play some good baseball, which I think they're starting to do. Much better baseball.
Ball and a strike on Loesch, and he rips one into center field, but right at Robinson to end the inning. 3 scoreless on the board for Dunsing. 10-2 Milwaukee. We've got 5 in the books at Miller Park. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Friday night, Miller Park, Milwaukee, 10-2. The Brew Crew, they lead the Minnesota Twins. Interleague baseball here at Miller Park. 3 with the Twins. Brewers took 2 out of 3 in Minnesota earlier in the month. And Kyle Lohse and the Brewers have it going their way tonight, scoring 10 runs in the first 2 innings. They had a 6-run first, a 4-run second. Joe Mauer singled and scored his last time up. He scored the second Twins run. Twins have Mauer, Plouffe, and Rosario coming up. Lohse through 5 innings has surrendered 4 hits. He's given up the 2 runs, home run by Dozier, and then an RBI on a fielder's choice by Eddie Rosario. That was in the 4th inning. That plated Mauer. Lohse has not won a game since he beat the Mets on May 15th. Had back-to-back wins, and it looked like Lohse was starting to turn the corner there a little bit. Had a stretch of 4 starts where he pitched well. Had 8 shutout innings against the Mets to get a win. His best start of the year. Only gave up 2 hits in that game. And he's been on a slide since. He's had some big earned run games this year. Very un-Lohse-like as Mauer turns one around, a base hit. He's 2 out of 3. Leadoff single against Lohse. After this series with the Twins, the Brewers are headed back on the road. They got a trip to Philadelphia coming.
New manager in Philly.
Pete McCannon takes over for the Phillies. Ryne Sandberg, the Hall of Fame second baseman, resigned today. Pop up behind the plate. Luke Croy will watch this one into the seats.
Phillies 26-48.
Worst record in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Feels like there's going to be a lot of changes there with the Phillies in their front office. They're already talking about upper level executive changes. But it was interesting that at the dais today, as Ryne Sandberg announced his resignation, Pat Gillick was there and Ruben Amaro Jr. That ball's hit deep into left center field. It's not coming back. That is way gone. A home run for Trevor Plouffe. It's a 2-run shot, and it makes it 10-4 Brewers.
And that's probably going to get some activity in that Brewers bullpen. And yet another home run off of Kyle Lohse, number 19 of the season. That's been the biggest issue for Lohse this year, home runs. He's allowed at least 1 home run in every start, but 2 this year. And check out this location right down the middle. And Trevor Plouffe knocks it out of here.
So it's 10-4. Second home run of the night for Minnesota. Plouffe joins Dozier. His 10th homer of the year. He's got 40 ribbies now. Playing third base every day for the Twins. Fly ball to center. Gomez eases over. And there's out number 1. Ryne Sandberg's resignation today does bring up the point that those who have Hall of Fame playing careers very rarely have successful managerial careers.
Right.
I give Sandberg a lot of credit. He went to the minor leagues and managed, and He didn't rest on his Hall of Fame credentials. Not that Molitor, he would have certainly done what was asked of him, but Molitor had a chance to manage the Twins when Tom Kelly was out. Molitor just felt like it was at the time, and he had first offer. Ron Gardenhire ended up getting the job. Molitor stayed with the organization, spent a lot of time in the minor leagues coaching, working as an advisor, also with his family at the time.
And he put some time in. I mean, certainly.
Did a lot of coaching, he didn't manage down there, but
he's a bench coach for the Twins.
That wasn't the path for Sandberg. He knew he needed to manage and wanted to manage, and did so in the Cubs organization, and then finally went to the Phillies organization as a minor league manager. Ended up in the big leagues. But you don't know if a guy like Sandberg is going to get another chance to manage.
Unfortunately, that's what Ryan Sandberg is going to be judged on. I mean, the players just aren't getting it done, and it all falls on the manager. Not much you can do when you don't have the players performing.
Well, Mark Redmond with the Marlins. Of course, Ron Renicky here with the Brewers. Bud Black with the Padres, and now Ryan Sandberg. Two and two to Kurt Suzuki with one away. And he got him. Lowe strikes him out. Second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Loesch.
And much better location on a couple of those breaking pitches for Kyle in that at bat. He's trying to get the feel. There's that good cut fastball right off the outside corner, getting Suzuki on strikes. That's where you need to put it.
Facing Nunez now. Strike one on Eduardo Nunez. He's been a hot hitter for the Twins and has emerged as their regular shortstop here recently. That one's in the air, left center field, hit well. Back is Gomez, and he's got it just in front of the wall. A two-run homer by Plouffe. Loesch retires the next three, and here we go to the bottom of the sixth. Gerardo Parra is coming up. Got a home run tonight. 1 out of 3. He'll lead off when we come back. First inning of the night for the Brewers, and it started with a bang by Gerardo Parra, a home run, and then the Brewers would tack on 5 more runs. They scored 6 runs on 6 hits, Brought 11 men to the plate. RBIs from Parra and Braun. 2 RBI single by Gene Segura. Kyle Loesch even chipped in with an RBI with this safety squeeze in the first. Segura's mad dash to the plate. And that was some kind of start. Trevor May was chased. He got just 1 out. He's been pitching very well for the Twins. Wasn't his night tonight. Loesch and pitching coach Rick Kranitz having a chat. Loesch is through 6. Giving up 4 runs at this point. The Brewers lead it 10-4. And the new pitcher is left-hander Aaron Thompson.
Yep, a 540 earned run average in 36 games now here tonight. A 1-2 record. Thompson last pitched 3 days ago against the White Sox. Gave up a couple of runs, 1 earned, and only a third of an inning of work. He's been roughed up. His last 2 appearances, he's allowed 5 earned runs.
A former first-rounder, Thompson. Parra with the lefty-lefty matchup, and that is a strike. Parra disagrees. And he's asking Dan Isonia, just ask for help.
Not a bad job by Brian Dunsing, who came in with a big earned run average and ate up 3 big innings for the Twins tonight.
3 scoreless, only 1 hit allowed. Settling down the game. Parra into center. Pretty well hit, but Robinson is there. Deep center field, makes the catch for the first out. That'll bring up Lucroy. By the way, Rock, send out belated birthday wishes for your beautiful wife, Kate.
Yeah.
We weren't on the air yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
For her birthday. Did you get her card?
Had a good day. Yep. Nice gift. Card.
Handwritten.
It was a bought card, but I added a few words of my own.
Oh, nice. Did you underline some of the printed words on the card?
No, I don't do that.
The card says the things that I want to say. Well, happy birthday to Kate.
Yeah. It's actually birthday week. It's not just
true.
one day.
That's true.
It's a week.
It's a celebration that
it goes on and on and on.
I'm with you. I got the same thing in my house.
Yeah.
Until it's my birthday. Then it's a little more like a birth hour. One solid hour of fun and frivolity, and then it's all over with. Move on.
Breakfast in bed, maybe?
No. Is that an option?
No, I mean, you make breakfast and you eat it in bed.
Yeah, I get to eat in my own bed. Right. No, that's it. Crackers.
That's not true. I know better than that.
So those of you wondering why we didn't have a broadcast yesterday, that's why. It was Kate's birthday.
Never work on her birthday.
Keeps everybody happy. Lucroy into right field, right off the barrel. But not deep enough as Hunter runs it down. 2 outs. 2 up, 2 down for Aaron Thompson. And here comes Ryan Braun. Ryan has a hit and an RBI tonight. He has also walked and stole a base. His home run power is evident this year again. 14 homers, leads the club on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Top 10 in the league in home runs for Braun. He's actually 8th in the league coming into play, tied with Joey Votto. Giancarlo Stanton has 27 homers to lead the league. And then Bryce Harper and Todd Frazier with 24. And remember, we kept selling the fact that Nolan Arenado is a star on the rise. He hit his 20th home run the other night. He's 4th in the league.
He had a good series against the Brewers in Colorado.
That guy's a player, man.
He can play third base and he can hit.
2 Gold Gloves over there at third, and you know he's going to put up some numbers. Speaking of homers, by the way, Prince Fielder hit his 300th home run of his career today at Rogers Center in Toronto.
And speaking of hitters, huh?
He's having
that neck surgery seemed to have fixed the ills of Prince.
There's a little line drive that'll fall. A base hit. Extra bases for Braun. That'll be a double for Ryan Braun. Got jammed a little bit, but able to shoot it down the right field line. It's a 2-out double. And the second hit of the night for Braun, who was 2 out of 3.
Yeah, the impressive thing about Ryan Braun is the way he's able to hit that ball to right field, get on top of it. A lot of guys will hit it to right, but will get under it. Pop-ups, maybe once in a while drive one out of the ballpark, but he hits line drives out there on a consistent basis, even pitches that are off the corner.
Here's Adam Lind.
And Prince Fielder getting back to Prince. 344. He's third in the American League.
Well, Adam Lind's in our T-Mobile game changer. Most home runs by players on new teams. All right, that's a good one. So Lind in his first year with the Brewers has 10 home runs. Justin Upton with the Padres with 13. I'll buy that. Making his presence known.
How about guys that are with their new team for the first time but switched leagues? Makes it a little bit more difficult. You don't know the pitching as well.
That's a good thought, Rock. We did have a production meeting today.
You got anybody scrambling out there?
That just come up?
Just came to me.
Well, the top 4 on that list didn't. Only Lynn changed leagues. The other 3, Justin Upton didn't change leagues.
Yeah.
Marlon Byrd still in the National League. Yasmani Grandal didn't change.
We can actually make a graphic where Lynn is on top. That's what I'm saying.
Let the statistics work in your benefit.
Right.
I'm with you. And Lynn breaks his bat. Sidearm flip to first, and a good scoop over there by Mauer. And that will end the inning. 6 in the books at Miller Park. It is 10-4 Crew. And some changes for Milwaukee. First, our Carsoup.com trivia. Who is the only player in Major League history to record his 3,000th hit with a triple? And yes, you know the answer to that. That was in Kansas City as a member of the Twins. It was Paul Molitor. 1996. The only one to do it in the 3,000 hit club. And could still run. What a great moment in his career, and what just a great career he had.
Not just a hitter. He was a baseball player. He could do everything. I don't know of a guy that had better instincts on the bases than Paul Molitor. Incredible the way he was able to anticipate what was going to happen, both defensively and on the bases.
3,000 Hit Club has a new member as of last week. Alex Rodriguez joining that group. Couple of changes here, Rock. Jason Rogers takes over at first base, and it'll be a double switch for Counsell. Neil Kotz is in. Hardly recognized Neil Kotz.
Cut the hair.
Cut the hair off, and Kotz will probably try to give Counsell a couple of innings if he can. Pencil him in the cleanup spot in the batting order. Lynn made the last out last inning. Kyle Lohse goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs all earned, and a walk and 2 strikeouts. In line for the win. Ground ball, Ramirez. And Robinson is out. So there are 29 players in the 3,000 hit club, and Paul Molitor is the only one who had number 3,000 as a triple.
Yeah.
The last 2 have been on home runs. Derek Jeter in 11 and Alex Rodriguez recently. I think Wade Boggs had a triple. I mean a home run as his 3,000th as well.
He didn't have many homers, did he?
Didn't he slide into home plate? I think he did. That was as a member of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time. Wade Boggs.
He slid into home plate?
I think so. He did something weird. I'm trying to remember what it was. Maybe just jumped in, or it was something odd. I don't know if it was Martin Maldonado quality, but
yeah, I was going to say that's the last guy I saw slide into home plate on a home run.
First and last.
17 inning game winner.
Jimmy Pearsall once hit a homer and ran around the bases backwards and was ruled out. Where does that put out go? To the catcher? I think it does. 2 unassisted. When does that become an out? As Kenius Vargas strikes out, making quick work of him. Pinch hitting here in the 7th.
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go to the rule book for that. Hey, join the crew for their first ever Koozie Night at Miller Park. That's Friday, August 7th at 7 o'clock. The special Koozie Night ticket package includes a ticket to see the Brewers take on the St. Louis Cardinals, plus a Bernie Chalet canned koozie. All for just $13. For tickets, visit brewers.com/special events.
Brian Dozier with 2 away, 2 hits tonight, including a leadoff home run in the first. And he lines out one into left, his 3rd hit. Dozier and Mauer are the 2 major threats here tonight. Trevor Plouffe has a couple of hits too. He just had a 2-run homer in the 6th, but Dozier's got 3 hits now.
I'll tell you, the top of their order is not too bad. I mean, they have a pretty good 1 through 4. Solid. Dozier, Hunter, Joe Mauer, and Plouffe. Bottom of the order is going to have to start getting it going for the Twins. Not tonight, but as the season goes on.
Torrey Hunter's 0 for 3. Hunter at first. 10-4 Brewers. They led 6-1 and then 10-1. Twins got a run in the 4th, and then that 2-run homer by Plouffe last inning. Oh, 0-2 on Torrey Hunter. Cott's had a slow start to the season, but been pitching very well as of late. Had a rough April, but been able to turn around a little bit. Did have a rough outing his last time out. I'm sure he's been anxious to get back on the mound. It's been a while since he last pitched. That was last Sunday against the Rockies. But he has been unscored upon in 11 of 12. And he's racking up the strikeouts. And a swing and a miss. He picks up a strikeout here to end the 7th. Neil Kotz with a scoreless 7th inning. It is stretch time at Miller Park. Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. 10-4, Brew Crew over the Minnesota Twins. And we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Great start tonight for Milwaukee, giving Kyle Osh a big early lead. Another pitcher out of the Minnesota bullpen, J.R. Graham. For Paul Molitor. He is the 5th pitcher used by Molitor tonight.
And last pitched on the 22nd. 2 scoreless innings against the White Sox. And before that, a couple of appearances in a row where he gave up some runs. 4 earned runs in an inning in the 3rd at Texas and against the Cubs, but scoreless his last time out.
Carlos Gomez with a hit and an RBI in the 2nd inning. He scored twice tonight. And a big cut and a miss. The former Twin Gomez always enjoys a matchup with his old club. Traded from the Twins to the Brewers. A J.J. Hardy deal.
Graham rushes it up there pretty good, 95 to 96 miles an hour with a slider to go with it. He's also got a split finger pitch.
Right off the end of the bat, and it is foul.
Now I'm looking in the rule book, you know, about running the bases in reverse on a home run.
Oh yeah, what'd you come up with?
It's not. There's nothing that really specifically talks about that, because how often does that ever happen? Once?
I think just once. Jimmy
Right.
Pearsall. I think you're right.
The bottom line is an umpire can call a runner out if he's making a travesty of the game, running the bases in reverse. But it doesn't say really in official scoring how you would call that in the rule book or in the scorebook. My guess would be is that it would be an unassisted put out for the third baseman, because that would be the first illegal base that he touched, and that's where the out would occur.
That's a good guess.
That would be my guess.
I appreciate you following up on that.
It's one of those things that is not specifically talked about in the rule book because it's very rare.
Gomez takes a big swing. Remember, he's got the hip injury and falls down. He's got a smile on his face. That's a good sign. A little scary, though, when he goes to the ground. Good slider here from Graham.
A little weakness in that area, just not strong enough perhaps to hold himself up, and decides to just pull the shoot and go down. I don't want to stress that area any more than you have to.
Ramirez with one away. Brewers scored more runs in the first inning than any other game of the season tonight. 6 of them. And Ramirez has had a good night. And a 2-run home run. It was a bullet into the Friday's front row grill out there. Into the soup. Popped him up shallow right. Hunter for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for J.R. Graham. I showed you those stirrups of J.R. Graham a moment ago. It's a beautiful story behind that. Aren't many who wear the stirrups like that anymore. That used to be stylish. And the reason Graham does it is because his mother is legally blind, and she can see just a little. She's legally blind but has just a touch of vision, and the only way she can separate JR from the rest of the players is by the white in the socks. And so he does that to honor his mother. So when she's at home and the TV's on and she's able to see the white of those socks, and when we take shots like that, she knows her boy is on the mound. I love that story.
It is a good story. Good for him.
You don't see stirrups like that worn much in the big leagues, and B, you don't see stirrups that much in the big leagues. Any kind of stirrups. Most guys just wear the uniform colored socks.
Yeah, if they wear the stirrups, it's just a little bit of the white shown, but those things are jacked up pretty good.
Got to have the low arch in the front. That's key. I think the little Twins logo really, that kind of makes that whole look.
Right. Yeah, you can't make a mistake there.
They don't give you logos like that in the minor leagues. Like Segura, he's just got the regular blue sock on. There's no stirrup. It's just a long sock. Ooh, close pitch. Segura draws the walk. That didn't miss by much. Gene, who rarely walks, picks one up here with 2 outs in the 8th, which will give Scooter Gennett an at-bat. And we really don't know what color socks Scooter Gennett wears. Pant legs are down to the shoe tops.
Yeah, that's more typical these days.
Who's the first guy you saw to wear his pant legs like that?
George Hendrick.
That's it. That was the first one for me.
Yeah. Ahead of his time, wasn't he?
He was. Jeanette Slices one in the air out to left. Rosario's got it, and the inning is over. 7 in the books. 10-4 Milwaukee. We're headed to the 8th. And the Crew leading 10-4. Scooter Jeanette's had a big night tonight, not just with the bat, he has homered, but also with the glove. In our AT&T U-Burst Rewind, we take you back to last Saturday and a leaping catch at Coors Field in Denver, and it brought to mind this one. Similar play going the other way, taking a hit away from Torrey Hunter.
What's that, about a 3-foot vertical leap right there? 2.5?
He's up there.
What do you think?
I like when the little guys jump.
Help
like
him out
that.
a little bit.
It's a solid 35-inch vertical. Way to go, Scooter. Hernan Perez will take over third for Ramirez. And here's Joe Mauer leading off. Neil Cott stays on. He's trying to give Counsell 2 innings tonight. Loesch in line for the win. He went 6. Cott's had a scoreless 7. Mauer to left, and Parra will run it down. 1 away in the 8th. Mauer is 2 for 4 tonight. Everything to left field or center field.
Yeah, he just doesn't pull the ball too much.
Here's Trevor Plouffe.
Troy's always been able to hit for a high average, but you know, the one year he had in the Metrodome, he hit a bunch of home runs. What was it, 28 homers? Never had that many before, even close or even after. It's one of those years for Mauer.
That was a significant power outage when Target Field opened in 09 with Mauer and Morneau, and a lot of folks blaming the ballpark, but I think then it started to become a realization that Mauer and Morneau just weren't the home run hitters they were. Ground ball by Plouffe ends up as out number 2.
But they were in the Metrodome, right?
They sure were, at least a few years there.
Hey, on Tuesday, July 14th, Miller Park will transform from ballpark to soccer pitch as popular Mexican team Club Atlas take on Newcastle United of the English Premier League. Plus, the first 10,000 fans 18 and older will get a soccer scarf courtesy of Potawatomi. For tickets, visit brewers.com/soccer. Liga MX, if you were going to ask me, I know.
How do you say that, Rock?
I'm just going to say Liga MX.
Emma Ekis. Eddie Rosario. And a ground ball. Segura's there. Winds it up, throws him out. Outstanding 2 innings for Neil Kotz. Just what the Brewers needed. Gives them 2 scoreless. Head to the home 8th.
Bernie's having a much better time than the Twins mascot. 10-4. 10-4, Augie.
That's
we
awesome.
got a lot to talk about on Brewers Live postgame.
Love it.
10 runs in the first 2 innings, and the Brewers hitting the ball all over Miller Park here tonight. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah, you know another thing about this Brewer lineup. Lately, the last couple weeks, we've been seeing a lineup that we thought we would see from the beginning of the season, and it's making a world of difference. They're swinging the bat, hitting the ball hard, and tonight hitting some home runs.
Brewers batting around in that opening inning, and Brewers go long ball with Parr to open things up. Then Ramirez, Scooter Gennett. All good to see here tonight. So plenty to talk about on Brewers Live postgame. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the team to get you set for Game 2, an afternoon game coming up on Saturday. B.A.?
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Looking forward to Brewers Live and looking forward to those day games. Hopefully the weather will be nice. We can open up the roof, get some sun in here. Got cool tonight. They closed up the roof. Jason Rogers in his first at bat came in on a double switch and a wave and a miss at that grand slider. Brewers have 10 runs on the board on 11 hits. Most runs in a game this season, 12. That was May 9th versus the Cubs, and Kyle Lohse was the starter that day. Rogers into right, hit pretty well. Torrey Hunter on the track, makes the catch. One away. Every weeknight, don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, and live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around is weeknights, 6 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. Always streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here is Gerardo Parra now. His 5th plate appearance. He's 1 for 4 with a leadoff home run tonight. Set the tone offensively. Who knows where this game goes? If Shane Robinson makes that catch on Parra's home run, it didn't look like it was going to go out of the park. It looked like it might hit the top of the wall. Robinson leaped for it, hit his glove, and then bounced over.
Yep, it was close. He's still thinking about it. Well, the outfielders love taking away home runs. Talked to Carlos Gomez about that. He says he'd rather do that than hit one. Came close, but Parra able to get the home run.
That answered the Twins' Brian Dozier's leadoff homer. And then it was on. The Brewers scored 5 more runs that inning, a 6-run first on 6 hits. The starter, Trevor May, was out after just 1 out. Take advantage of the opportunities.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Brewers have been on the wrong side of that a lot this year. And a bouncing ball. The shortstop Nunez bobbles and Parra will reach. And they're going to score that as an infield hit for Gerardo Parra. Nunez knew he had to hurry. He was ranging way across second base to make that play.
No, that's the toughest part of that play, is when you're going that hard, to get that ground ball, to make that transfer and get a good throw to first base, just not able to get a grip on it, and Parra in with a base hit.
In an awkward position to make a throw.
Yeah.
So an infield hit gives Parra 2 hits tonight, and he is aboard for Jonathan Lucroy. We got some injury updates to report. Willie Peralta and Chris Davis. Sophia, our crack reporter tonight. What do you have on those two, Sophia?
Well, Chris Davis continues his rehab after taking batting practice for the first time on Wednesday. Today he was able to run the bases, so he's making good progress. And his timeline, they are hopeful he could do a rehab assignment as soon as next week. And Willie Peralta continuing to stretch out. He's playing catch, and they are hopeful that he could throw a bullpen in the next week as well. So good progress for both of those guys. Chris Davis making bigger steps than Willie Peralta. He's still a few weeks out.
All right, Sophia, thanks for that. And a good report and good news on both of those guys. Brewers are looking forward to have them back and start to put the pieces together to look like the team they had when they broke spring training.
Right. It's taken a while, hasn't it?
Trying to dig one out of the dirt here this year. You do whatever you can. You try to win as many games as you can.
Right.
Find something. You never know who is going to surprise you, come up from the minor leagues maybe, and something to give you those good feelings going into next season.
Who would have thought Taylor Youngman would come up here and dominate the way he has, given his numbers down in the minor leagues?
Sure. Michael Blazek.
Yep.
There'll be more stories. Jason Rogers has been a nice story.
Perez has swung the bat well.
Yeah, acquired him from the Tigers. That's something you probably wouldn't have done had you been in contention, as Lucroy draws the walk. So it's not where you want to be, but it's where you are, and now you try to do the best you can.
And because of where the Brewers are at, they have the opportunity to give Willie Peralta as much time as he needs to come back 100%. There's no reason to rush him back, given where the team is at this point. But he'll be back. Miss seeing Willie out on the mound every 5 days. He's a lot of fun to watch. He can pitch.
Hitters do not.
Yeah, he's had a down season, but he goes and gets you for sure.
17-game winner last year. 1 away, 2 on for Braun. And he's having a good night tonight. He's got a chance to have a great night. Do some damage here. RBI single in the first, scored a run. He walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the second. Had a double in the seventh. J.R. Graham, 5th pitcher used by the Twins tonight. And Braun late, 96 with the fastball right down the middle.
Yeah, had Braun a little bit behind it, didn't he? Haven't seen Graham get one up that high before. 2-0, reached back and got a little extra.
Graham pitching in his second inning. Worked a scoreless seventh. Twins had a pitcher make his major league debut tonight. Alex Meyer with an inning and 2/3, giving up 4 runs. He gave up the 2 home runs. Ramirez and Jeanette. That came in the second inning. But the rest of the Twins bullpen has been very good.
Yeah.
Dunsing went 3 scoreless. Thompson had a scoreless inning, and now Graham pitching in his second inning.
Well, Dunsing with those 3 innings somewhat saved the Twins bullpen. They did have a day off yesterday, but it's still, when you're out of the game that early and your starter doesn't last 1 inning, that could beat your bullpen up for a couple of days. But Dunsing made sure that didn't happen.
And they don't have another day off until the All-Star break. $17 in a row until the All-Star break for the Twins.
Brewers just finished one of those stretches.
Yeah, that was a 17 in a row stretch that the Brewers ended in Colorado Sunday, had Monday off. Brewers have 1 more off day before the All-Star break. The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Braun. He's battling even with a 10-4 lead. He's not giving an at-bat away. 2 on, 1 out. Full count. Most pitchers know there is an out with Braun at the plate on the inside corner if you have velocity like Graham. But if you miss, and you miss over the plate, look out.
And that's the thing. I mean, every good hitter you can get out inside, but the problem is not many pitchers are effective inside.
Hasn't thrown one yet on the inner quadrant, and Braun keeps fouling them away. You'll see at least 10 pitches this at bat.
The old adage in baseball, you pitch good hitters in and bad hitters away. There's a reason for that. Good hitters are looking on the outer half of the plate, because that's where most pitchers are going to try and get you out.
Tenth pitch, and it's a called strike 3. Braun is out right on the edge. Long battle won by Graham. Second out of the inning. And we're going to see a pinch hitter here. This is now the pitcher spot in the order, the cleanup spot. Shane Peterson will hit for Neil Cox. Graham with a couple of strikeouts. Don't forget, tomorrow it is a day game on the air at 12:30. Matt Garza, Kyle Gibson. Sunday it'll be Mike Fiers, Tommy Malone. Also a 12:30 airtime, 1:10 first pitch. Big cut and a miss. Graham with back-to-back Ks. The inning is over, and we're headed for the 9th. Last call for the Twins. Brewers up 6. Under the Friday night lights of Miller Park, 10-4, the Brewers lead the Twins as we go to the ninth. And Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Martin Maldonado will take over behind the plate for Lucroy. And on the mound rock is Jonathan Broxton, trying to finish this one off tonight.
Yeah, Broxton in his 31st game, a 1-2 record. Broxton with more strikeouts than innings pitched so far this year. 30 punch outs and just shy of 28 innings of work. All about the breaking pitch for Broxton. When he's able to throw that, he's usually in for a good outing. Fastball has been improving as of late. 94 with that last one. He's gotten it up as high as 96.
Kurt Suzuki leading the way. Ground ball to Segura. And out number one. So tomorrow again, day game. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Kyle Gibson having a good year for the Twins. Not reflected in the wins and losses, but an excellent ERA. And Matt Garza on the mound for the Brewers.
Yeah, Brewers got to Gibson at Target Field. 5 runs only in that ball game.
12:30 is airtime. 1:10 first pitch. Saturday afternoon at Miller Park. Big bouncer over to first as Nunez is out number 2. Good night for the Brew Crew. Night they could step off the gas a little bit, and after a game yesterday where Jacob deGrom shut down the Brewers. And a tough day at the ballpark and a 2-0 loss. The offense freed up tonight. 10 runs in the first 2 innings. And a 10-4 lead here as Broxton is an out away from polishing this one off. First pitch swinging. Jeanette's got it. And the game is over. The Brewers win. They beat the Twins. Greg Counsell defeats his childhood hero, Paul Molitor, tonight. Parra got it started with a home run. 10 runs for the Brewers on 12 hits, making a winner out of Kyle Loesch, who has now beaten every major league team. And Loesch to 4-9 with the win. Trevor May suffers the loss at 4-6, and the Brewers have won 3 out of 4 from the Minnesota Twins this year. It's time for Brewers Live. Let's send it out to Craig Kashawn. He is standing by. Craig.
Okay, BA, thanks very much. Very